Hi everyone, this is Commander Rusty Dog, and yeah, we are at Quent Research Base once again in the beta. Just had another small patch come in with a few little changes, nothing really major, just a few little tweaks. So, well, I'm just going to straight and get on with this. I'm going to build another racing ship. And I want to try and build one that's quicker than the one I had. So that means this thing's got a top 800. And I think I'm fairly confident I can do that. So by how much, I don't know. Sirius is popular. I'll get back to you on that one. In fact, I better tell him, because I don't want him to think I'm ignoring him. Okay, there we go. All right then, so this is an Imperial Eagle, and it's a quick ship, no doubt, but we're about to make it a whole lot faster. And I may have been mistaken before in my previous video about this beta by saying that the Mako Quent does not stock the enhanced thrusters. Either I was mistaken, or which is, let's face it, most likely the case, because I wasn't in a ship that could take enhanced thrusters, and so because I didn't see it on the list, I just assumed that they weren't there, but they are in fact here, and now I'm in a ship that can take them. They are listed, so I guess they only get listed if you're in a ship that can handle them, which makes perfect sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier, to be honest, but yeah, it's good to know. So yeah, we better get underway. I just need to sort something out here. Right. So, as you can see, there are no shields on the ship. That's because I've done a little bit of outfitting already. Don't worry, I haven't done anything that's going to that you're going to miss. All I've done is replaced every optional internal box with cargo, and that is so that I can fill it with fish, not fill it of fish. That's like a meal. Not a fillet. Yeah, not a not a fillet of fish. I filled it with fish so that I can concentrate on doing all of this lot. So then, what do we need? What do we do? How do we do it? Where do we go? Right. These are the current speeds. Nice round numbers: 300, 400. And the mass is 95.3. Okay, so we're going to try and, I don't know if we can better the mass. We'll see how it goes when it goes. Jump range, not really concerned about, to be honest. It's probably going to get worse than that if I'm completely honest. But let's give it a go anyway. So we'll go through it step by step and see where we end up at the end of the day. The main thing, of course, is going to be really grinding away on the enhanced thruster speeds. That's where all the speed's going to come, or let's say the majority of it. So let's go into hard points. And the first thing we want to do is remove any weapons, because this is a racing ship. And if you've got the speed, you don't need the weapons. You can just run away from anything that tries to attack you. Okay, so 3 hard points, now empty. We've only gained a couple of meters per second. It's not a lot. It's not a big thing. But it's something. It might be the difference between 799 meters per second and 801 meters per second. You know, so we are trying to squeeze every single possible meter per second out of this ship. And now, of course, the total mass has gone down from 95.3 to 91.3. So we've lost 4 tons. Okay, utilities. Again, nothing here. We want it empty. Core internals. Well, everything, in order to save weight, has to be upgraded from E-class to D-class or downgraded. But this is the stock ship, so everything's going to come with E-class. So we want to upgrade everything to its D-class equivalent. What did I just do? I just stored that, didn't I? That was a silly thing. Okay, so we've got a 3E power plant. Now, the straight thing to do is to go for a 3D power plant. And that weighs 2 tons. The 2D power plant weighs 1 ton. So we might get away with that. We just might. We'll have to see. So maybe we'll take a look at the power plant right at the very end. So let's forget the power plant for now. In fact, what we can do instead is stick the 2D power plant on there, which is increasing our jump range and increasing our speed, as you can see. The mass will be coming, well, I don't know if it'll be affected, is it? Yes, it is. The mass is being affected here, look, because currently we're at 91. This is bringing it down to 87, but it hasn't lit up in blue. I would have expected it to have lit up in blue there, just to show me where I was gaining that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 2D power plant and firstly see if I can get away with that, because we're only going to be using enhanced thrusters really, and also see if, oh, and the shields. I am going to have shields on this. I know it adds weight, but well, we'll have a look at the speeds with and without shields. And if you wanted, you could always engineer this, but engineering a 2D power plant is going to give you mass. It won't give you mass up to 2 tons though, so you'll still be saving. So thrusters. Okay, we're not going to convert these to a 3D just like that. We're just going to come all the way down and go for these. Now these are not cheap at $500,000, but look at the power that it's taken up. Look at the extra power it's using up here. These are real power killers. And don't forget, we're on a small power plant. But look at the speed increase. If you see without it, the boost speed is 403. With these on, the top speed is 471. This is crazy. And we haven't even put grade 5 dirty drive tuning on them yet, which is going to increase the power even more. So we may have to go with the 3Ds unless we can engineer the 2Ds, which might be, engineering the 2Ds might be better. Now these weigh half as much, but look at the performance difference. These give you a little bit of performance extra, or extra performance, 302, 403, 321, 429. So you still, it's just a bit extra boost really. This, look at the difference there. It's killer. So if it's all about speed, you have to put these on. There's no question. Now a frame shift drive, we're just going to switch to the regular 3D. That gives us 640 now. If we go down to 2D, we still get 640. Why? Because the frame shift drive mass there is 1 ton. And this one is 2 tons. And we're getting, but it's not changing these speeds, but it's changing this. So we're going to stick that on for now. We may look at an upgrade for that. Maybe something just to take us a bit over 10 light years. We don't want to be, I mean, we're not going to be going too far, but, you know, with these jump ranges, it's probably quicker to do a ship transfer than it is to jump to the next system. Life support then. 1D. D-rated, why? Because D-rated modules are all the lightest of. So if we look at life support, you'll see these are 1.3. That's 2. So that's heavier. C is the same as A, 1.3. D is half a ton, and then E is again 1.3. So the E, the grade E's, the grade C's, and the grade A's are all the same weight. These are heavier, these are the lightest, and that's with every module. In that the D's are the lightest, and that's going to give you extra speed. And also, let me just take a look here. Yeah, you can see here it does affect your jump range because it's well, obviously it does, it's a frameshift drive. Let me just go into this one. See, you do have differing jump ranges because of the weight of the ship. I'm not quite sure why. Not quite sure how the weight of a ship affects how far you can jump through hyperspace. I'm not quite sure why that's a factor. I mean, you are moving space around the ship. The ship is effectively staying still, and you're moving shape around. You're moving space around you. So why should the weight of the ship matter? But anyway, it does. Next thing then is the power distributor. For a racing ship, you may want to go with the A class here, because let's have a look. This is this weighs 1 ton, and that weighs 250. But you can see, according to this, the speed is not getting changed. But the reason you want to go with this is because when you boost to get that top speed, you want the next boost to come as soon as possible. And this will give that to you better than a D class will. You can see here your engine capacity is 11 and your recharge is 0.6. So here your recharge rate is going to recharge a third quicker than what it would if you put the D's on. And that means instead of waiting maybe 3 seconds for the next boost to be available, you'd only need to wait 2 seconds, which is quite a big difference. And as you can see, boost speed, top speed, not changing. Not changing. So there's no, well, there is a mention of mass here, but it's clearly not enough to change this. So it must mean that these boosts are so high that even adding another 2.5 tons, the engine is still capable of giving us this speed, I'm guessing. So I'm going to buy the A-class power distributor. Sensors, not the big deal. So again, you can see that no matter what we're doing, the speed is now staying where it is. So we could go with A-class stuff, you could argue. But then, you know, the advantage of keeping these down as D's means we're still being able to use the 2D power plant for the moment, and we're getting a decent jump range-ish. If I was going to change anything to A-rated, it might be the power plant. Let's take another look at the power plant and have a look at a 2A. Again, top speed, boost speed, unchanged. Better heat efficiency, better power capacity. So there's something about these enhanced thrusters that they must be capped at that speed somehow. So let's go with the A's for now. And then once we put the dirty drive tuning on, we'll take a look and see if coming back down to D starts to affect the extra performance that the dirty drive tuning has given us. Let's see. So there's no point going into optional internals because they're all cargo, and all this is coming out in the end anyway, except what we'll do is take the top one away, leaving us with 8 fish. We'll put a very light shield generator in there, and then we'll take a look at an engineer's upgrade for that, and then we can get rid of these 3. We can leave them, to be honest, because they don't weigh anything. They don't have a mass, so these aren't affecting anything here right now. So in the end then, the ship has gone from 95.3 tons down to 82.3. We got plenty of power, and the speed doesn't change even when you're putting in A or D's, which is a bit strange. So what we need to do then is go now into the engineer's workshop and start upgrading the ship. So I guess we'll do it in order. Engines first, and we want grade 5 dirty drive tuning. Now this is where it all counts. You want the best optimal multiplier you can lay your hands on. You don't want to sacrifice too much power draw if you can help it. Integrity, not worried about because the ship's not going to be out for long periods. Thermal load, it's not really a big issue. This is the key right here, your optimal multiplier. I'm looking for something that's 149, or maybe a secondary effect taking it further, if it can even go further. I don't even think it can unless they move this blue bar down a bit and leave a bit of grey. So we've got 16 fish to start with. Let's see where we go. So straight away we hit 149.5. All these are down. Obviously we're going to apply that right now. And let's come out and see what's happened to the speed. Okay, so, well, I expected a bit more, if I'm honest. So now that we've got that in place, let's go back to that core internal. Let's look at this power plant and see if bringing it back down to a D increases that speed. And it does. So now we are getting the changes. Obviously we are going beyond our performance right now. Let's have a look at the distributor. I'd rather stay with the A rated if I'm honest, but I want to see how much difference we get. So right now we're at 565 and 754. Okay, we're not changing the top speed that much, but we are changing the boost speed by a lot. Now, if you're boosting away that fast, you may not need to have a secondary boost ready and waiting so much. But let's give this a try. Let's go down to the D's. We're obviously gaining a bit of power back. So right now we are back to D's. The only thing we want as A's are these, for sure, no question. And if we can get a better roll on this, because I'm not done with this yet, if we can get a better roll here, and maybe get less power draw, then maybe we can improve this. Because right now we are 0.4 over what we're supposed to be. Of course we can engineer that, but engineering things tends to add mass as well to those particular modules. So I'm certainly not done with the thrusters yet. So let's go back in and let's see if we can get a better roll. We haven't got much of a window here. We've only got this little bit, but that's going to make so much of a difference. So let's see if we can do that. Right now my Courier, oh wow. Remember what I said about having a little bit of a grey space? Well, there you have it. Again, I'm suffering in power draw, which is a damn shame. My optimal mass is improved, which is good. My integrity has gone up a lot, but this is what I'm really pleased about. And the mass has gone down 3%. So that's killer. That being right at the end would have been incredible. Yeah, the power plant's gone over that, well over its limit now. Let's have a look at the speed, shall we? Let's have a look at the module. We're at 108. So, and that's switching the cargo hatch off. Oh yeah, we're okay. Switching the cargo hatch off, which we don't need. We're under. We're still under. Take a look how much power those engines are consuming. 82%. Massive. Those of you who have got the patience would stick around to get a roll of the dice equivalent to what we've just got, but with a much better power draw. So we'll have another few goes. I've still got some fish left in the barrel. So whether we can improve here, I don't know. But if we can get beyond what we have now, with 15331, if we can get equal to that and a better power draw, I'll be happy. But that was a killer roll we got there. Okay, so we're still better than the what used to be the blue zone, but the power draw is still down as well, so that's not a good roll at all. Again, the power draw is fantastic, but we're losing 2% of our current now. That's no good. I haven't checked the speed yet, have I? That we got. I didn't check the speed of the last roll. I'll check it. I'll check it if we don't get a better result here. Now you could be here a long time. I mean, if we had to do this officially live in the game with materials, see, now look at this. You've got improvements all across the board. All across the board. Better thermals, much better power draw, better integrity, better optimal mass. But we're losing 2% here. That's a big deal. If this had been able to go back even somewhere like here, I would have accepted it. Because that's a nice roll. That's a really nice one. But I have to turn it down. Because I'm going for ultimate speed above everything else. Now we are in the, let's call it the bonus zone. This is the bonus zone. When it goes beyond the blue and it pops it in here, that's what I'm going to call that the bonus zone. So we're losing 1% optimal multiplier, which is a fair bit, and we're gaining 1% power draw. That's a trade-off I'm not willing to accept, really. I fully expect that I could be here all day trying to get a better roll on this, if I'm honest. So maybe we should just accept this. Let's run out of fish here and see what happens. And then we'll maybe come back to this at the end and see if we can get something better. Oh, there you go, look. So I've got even more now. Even more multiplier, better thermal load, better power draw, worse integrity, I can handle that, and better optimal mass. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. It's not by much. 153.8 over 153.3. It's not much, but it's better. So we've only got a couple of fish left, so let's finish them off. You never know. You never know. If that top one lights up in blue, wow. No, that's it. Okay. So let's just say that we're done with the thrusters for now. For now. And my power usage has gone down to 98. So that gives us just a little bit more breathing room there. Just a little. All right. So what have we got in terms of speed right now? Have we gone over 790, which is what the Courier has? And have we gone over 800? Yeah, we have. 819. Something in the 900s would have been nice. Again, the mass is down to 80.5 now. Jump range has gone up to 12.93. Yeah. This 10.36 is basically what the jump range will be when you're full of cargo, which I'm about to be. So let's stock up on 16 fish. So I've only had 16 rolls of the dice there. You could do that. I mean, in 2.2.3 when it comes out, the engineers are only going to be asking for materials. So if it's like manganese and I don't know, whatever else, you could go and get 16 of all of that, really. But that's only for the one item. That's just for the thrusters. To be honest, I got a pretty good roll on my second go. So now frameshift drive, let's see what there is here. What we're looking at, not necessarily increased FSD time, but we're looking at things that are going to help mass or are going to help integrity. Certainly we don't, anything that where we can lose mass, we're not interested in. And as you can see, with shielded and increased and faster boot sequence, no. Now here we can have a faster boot sequence, which I've never used before. And we can increase that. The only reason I won't do this is because it pulls on the power and I've got very little to play with right now. So I'm going to leave my FSD as it is, at least for the moment. Maybe once, if I can upgrade my power plant without too much of a detrimental effect to the speed, maybe we can come back and look at this at a later stage. So power distributor, well, we need to do something about, you can see there's nothing here in terms of power, and there's nothing here in terms of mass, although you might get that as a secondary effect, so keep an eye on that. What I'm interested in here is not weapons capacity or shield capacity. I'm interested in engines. I want to get that next boost going as soon as possible. So we need this engine focus. Now here it gives us a better capacity and a better recharge. We need probably, well, the best of both worlds. Let's face it. We need the best of both worlds. So let's have a look at this. Engine focus power grade 3 gives us engine capacity between 14 and 39 and 5 and 20. But up here, the high capacity one is grade 5. So can it beat 14 to 39 and 5 to 20? No. 14 to 39. The low end, it beats it, but not the high end. High end there is 39. So even at grade 29, sorry, even at grade 3, then this is better. So let's go into there, and we're looking for two massive blues here, because what this is going to do, the higher the blue, the quicker the recharge on the engine capacitor. the higher the capacity, I'm assuming it means that when you do boost, it will use up less stripes. So let me just go back and show you what that is. So here on the pips there, you can see full pips to engines, and above the 4 dots, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. And every time I hit boost, it may take 3 or 4 lines away. And then we've got to wait for that to recharge. Now, if it's only using 4 lines, it means I can easily boost twice before that capacitor runs out. If I try and boost a third time and it hasn't regenerated another 2 lines, I won't get the boost. And having a higher capacitance means it might only take 3 lines, which then will give me 3 boosts before it's running out. But if my recharge rate is quicker, I won't have to wait so long for that 4th boost, and therefore I can just keep it boosting and boosting and boosting and boosting. So that's what we want to go for here. So, and I am also ignoring the power consumption right now. I'm just going to see where that is at the end and see what we can do there. So clearly we're looking at engine focused. So let's take a look. And I'm not going to settle for anything. I'm not fussed about anything here. The shields would be nice, but let's face it, if you're going to crash at these speeds, you're pretty much done for anyway. You'll probably survive it if you're crashing at full speed, you've had it, but shields are only there as to make you feel better. They make you feel more safe. They'll do nothing at high speed. But I'm not interested in any result here other than 2 big high blues. Now the capacity is great, and the recharge is okay. But yeah, if you know me, you know that's not going to be enough. I'd love to have grade 4 or 5 here. So we need to get this into the blue again and maintain the second one in the blue at the same time. So getting the second one in the blue is going to be far easier than the top one, as you can see. But we need both. Oh my word, oh my word. Everything is in the blue. So anything that we lost before with these other ones, we've kind of gained a lot back. So we've got great capacity there on the shields. Oh, what a fantastic roll this is. And I've got better mass. You know, I honestly don't think I'm going to beat this. Oh no, it's removing this, isn't it? Wait a minute. Secondary effect, mass up is worse by 8%. So I'm not quite sure how this works. Is this my final gain? Am I finally gaining this? It's removing current and after 1. Yeah, this is my current mass. This is afterwards. There's obviously some decimal places involved here, and I'm better off by 1%. So that I'm applying for sure. So that's going to really help us when we're boosting away there. That's fantastic. We got a good one there. Now armor. Now granted, lightweight alloy you can't do much. Lightweight armor isn't going to do anything to your hull boost, but it is going to help your resistance. But let's take a look. If we want to look at, well, we've got this. There's no effect on mass, so we can go heavy duty. Kinetic resistance as well. I'm wondering, does kinetic resistance help the shields against banging into an asteroid or a planet's surface or something? This gives us between 30 and 48 resistance on the kinetic, where this one, wow, look at the difference. But look at the hull boost. Yeah. Yes, this is hull, not shields. Don't forget. This could be the difference between your ship blowing up and not blowing up if you crash into something. But there's no mass change here, so I'm happy with this roll, just this one. It doesn't affect your mass at all, so you can just do it. This means if we hit something and we go through the shields, maybe we'll be able to, you know, to not go through all the hull and blow the thing up. Power plants. Now then, let's have a look at other life support. This is what we want, lightweight. It's not going to make too much of a difference, but it will make a difference. So let's try and get something above 90% if we can get it. Oh, that's probably not possible. Well, let's try and get that little indicator thing right at the end there. I didn't really see how many fish I had left. That's not too bad. Let's apply that. So, power plant. Now then, overcharge is what you need if we're going over what we need, but also we have low emissions here. But again, it's affecting mass, and so we can't touch it. This one isn't affecting mass. It may, like I say, it may do it here in the secondary, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. But we're not going to need a massive change. But I won't know exactly how many I'm going to need until I get the shields on. So there's no point doing this. So right now we have a shieldless Imperial Eagle, and that's giving us a speed of 822. That seems to be the most I can get, I'm afraid, unless I grind away on the thrusters a bit more. But even then, I don't think I'll make anywhere near 900. So if anyone's made anywhere near 900 and can tell me how they did it, I would be very keen to know. Okay, if we go, I still have to put the shields on yet, and they weigh. So right now we've got 2% usage left over. Clearly that's going to go over if I add shields. No question. Now I don't need to have grade 3 shields here. I can go with these, just to give me something. 2Ds or biweaves. Biweaves weighing 2.5 tons. They weigh 2 and they weigh 5. So installed, I'm running at 822 meters per second. With the 2Ds, I'm giving up speed. Without the shields, you're basically saying that if you're skimming across a planet's surface and you hit anything, that's you done for. Also, you have to avoid getting interdicted as well. But I got to a point on my Courier, I think, where if I take the shields off my Courier, I wonder what the speed would be, to be honest, if it would increase. I'm curious. I'd like to have some decent shields on it. So it would either be 2As. Let's have a look here, see what the differences are. I know this is the killer for speed. It's going to kill my speed. Prismatics are 5 tons. They're 2.5. The biweaves are 2.5, so you may as well go with these. So 2A gives me 9.81 megawatts of power and drops me down to 791. "3D drops me down to 797, so not as much. So these are better. These are better. The biweaves, the 2C biweaves weigh more than the 3Ds. Yeah, what about... No, they're fine. Biweaves weigh more. Prismatics, they weigh as well. They weigh more. So that the ones that weigh the least are the standard D-rated. So these then. It's going to have to be, we're going to have to drop. We are dropping under 800 as opposed to 822. It's a massive drop. We're dropping 25 meters per second in speed, but it gives us protection against hitting the surface of a planet if you're skimming off of walls, off canyons, potential interdictors, you know, and every time you touch down on a launch pad, you might lose a % or two, and you're going to have to just keep paying that to get it fixed, which is fine. You might as well pay that as much as you're refueling. So we're going to have to go with this, unfortunately. Now the power's gone way over. So now we need to look at the shield generator and the power plant. So let me see what I've got in terms of little fish, because I'm not sure. I just need to buy the one. Okay, so let's head into the engineer's workshop and let's go to shields first. Power plants, as I said, we'll do those last, and then we can just upgrade to exactly what we need. So this would be the best thing, I think. Enhanced low power, better mass, better power draw. Optimal hull mass is down, but hey, this is the one I think we need to go for. It sounds like all my heat sinks have gone off and I haven't even got any. Okay, so now we're only armed with 8 fish. So anything here is good. So this is a great initial roll of the dice. So we'll put that on. Now let's take a look and see where we are with the modules. So we're at 111. I didn't see what it was before, actually. But we're at 111 with the cargo hatch off. Now, because we saved mass there, we will get some of our speed back. Whether it's enough to take us over 800, again, I don't know. I suppose we could have a quick look. Well, it is. Now we're back up to 806. I like that. Anything over 800 is going to make me happy. So if we can improve on this even further, so optimal strength we could do with, increase the strength of the shields, less power draw, less mass. This counts more than this. This has more of an effect, I think. Probably not by too much, but let's just see if we can get 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can get 5 blues here. Let's say we're not going to settle until we see 5 blue figures. That's 2. The important ones, of course, are the top one and the middle one. Then I would go for this one and then this one. The strength of the shields are nice, but as I'm going for speed, knowing I've got shields in the first place is okay. Okay, so we've got better power draw, better mass, better optimal strength. They're the ones that matter. So let's apply that. So we had 806 before, didn't we? Let's see if that's changed. No, it hasn't changed there. The power's coming down though. It's into the 8.5s now. So that's going to change how we look at the power plant when we come to do that. Right, where are we? At the bottom. The power plant though that we do may add mass as well. That's just a downside. Okay, so as you can see, there is still room for improvement on all sections here. Okay, optimal hull mass is brilliant, but it was exactly offset by power draw. And the mass is down. This is great. I mean, this is really, really amazing throw. Look where the maximum was before. And look how much we got here. That's an amazing throw. And so is this. But I don't want to give up mass. Oh, this is such a good one. This gives me really a lot more 7% strength on the shields. Yeah, little bits here, little bits of there. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn it down. Yeah. I hated letting that one go. Okay, so this is good. Optimal strength is down, but we've gained 2% on the mass there and 1% on the power draw. So that was the last fish. So we'll get some more and then we'll take a look at where we are. In fact, now that we've gone out of the fish, we're empty on cargo, so we'll get a more accurate result here. So again, this is kind of staying the same. And remember how the ship started off at 95.3? Well, now it's come down almost 22 tons. We've got it's 22 tons lighter now. So this thing is going to be really, really agile. She's not going to take bangs and knocks too well, but we've tried to make the best of it that we can. Okay, so anyway, let's carry on. Back into the engineer's workshop, back to the shield generators, because I still see room for a little bit of improvement. So maybe not so much here. Certainly here we can improve a lot. Certainly here we can improve a lot. But I'll only accept these if these little ones can go up as well. We're squeezing the mass out. We're squeezing the power draw out. But we really want to get one. Maybe we can get one where the power draw and the mass go into the grey areas, the bonus areas. Oh, we got good resistance here, but it's not enough. I'm looking for lots of blues. Oh, 22% on the power draw. That's just not going to happen. No, we got reds all around there. Why would the engineer possibly think I would accept that? Well, optimal hull mass. Distributor draw, better off on the shields, so that's not a biggie for me. So you're just going to have to keep trying. Optimal hull mass, you did well. Integrity, you did well. Optimal strength, you did fantastic. Power draw and mass, you crapped out on big time. I needed that better. Let's keep going. Okay, so we've got a 1% mass increase, but at the expense of, which gives us better speed. But does it though? We seem to be at some kind of cap again, where we're not increasing our speed by anything. We need some fish. And I noticed that with the Courier. You get to a certain speed, and then no matter what you do, you can't add on to that speed. But shieldless, she'll do quite the speed now, I think. If we go into outfitting and pretend we're going to remove the shields, we get 822, which is what we had before. Yeah, it's what we had before. And I've never been able to get it over 822. So that could be some kind of physical limit. So I've got eight more fish. So let's just give these 8 fish a go and see if they can squeeze a bit more out of this. Because the shields have really put a downer on our speeds. So anything we can claim back, let's do it. Let's claim it back. I'm not bothered about secondary effects here. Really not bothered about any of this. I'm only concerned about this and this and then this. I don't mind taking a slight drop there if these two are better. But I want better power draw and mass. I'll even lose 1% power draw if I can gain 1% mass. Mass for me is the most important here, because that's what's going to give us our speed. However, if 806 is the actual cap, the actual end, then all of this, what I'm doing right now, is completely pointless. So let's have a look at the power plant and see where we are here. So right now we need to gain back 10% because this ship right now will not fly. We can help some of that back by buying some fish and see if we can get a better roll on the thrusters with less power draw. See if we can get the same performance we've got now or better, but with less power draw. Because anything we can do there, 81%. I mean, these engines are really power hungry and they're expensive. So maybe it would pay to take another look. I hate that we have to keep doing this though, refilling the cargo and then giving it back. Let's see if we can get a better dirty drive tune. Whether we'll beat the optimal mass we have now, I don't think so. See, the power draw's better. And we got a pretty good roll on the optimal as well. Oh, God. See, this is going to drop my speed. 2% better power draw. I'm not prepared to accept that. I want... Yeah, you see, this is good. I'm only 1% down, but it's not helping me. It's 1% more better power draw and less speed. But 7% better mass, which also helps towards the speed. What I want to know here is what my final outcome will be on the speed, what it's going to change on the ship. Like, I'd like to go here now and see the potential changes of what's going to happen if I accept this. That would be fantastic. But I can't, so I'm just going to have to try this again. This is going to take a while. Oh, why couldn't I have the top one? I don't know what the thermals are going to be like on this ship either. Now, look at this. That is barely a drop. 0.1. I'm going to ignore this. I think this has been rounded up. This is probably 0. something percent, and that's just been rounded up because 1% is the lowest figure that they can show you. But my power draw is better, as is the thermal and the optimal mass. So I'm going to take that. And I'm going to bet you that my speed is the same. I could be wrong. I'm not wrong. It's gone right back up. It's gone right back up, even though the optimal mass was down. Yes, man. 817. Killer. And the power down to, now it's only 9%. So it's something. This is not going to be our final speed. I think the final speed is probably going to be something that is a bit slower. So what happened here is we got slightly less of an optimal multiplier, but it was only by a fraction. But the optimal mass was better, and that overpowered the loss here. And we got a better mass, didn't we, in the secondary as well? I can't remember, I think we did. And that's what constituted us getting a faster speed in the end, which was great. So, what we can do, let's have a look down at power plant again. Got the emissions here. Actually, I say power plant again. We haven't even looked at power plant yet. We can look at a low emission power plant, but it reduces the capacity, which is exactly what we don't want. The overcharge doesn't mess with the mass. So I'm going to go for grade 2 overcharge, I think. Because look at integrity and look at heat efficiency. Let's try with a good grade 1 and see what happens. See if it's enough to change that 9%. Well, that's not going to do anything. Let's get a really good score here. There's 10%. So we'll just apply that. And there you have it. Doing a grade 1 is all you need, because it means you don't suffer. If you do a grade 5, you're going to suffer more on integrity and more on heat efficiency, which are not critical here. There's room for improvement here, isn't there? Let's try and get a better overcharge. Now, I'm not saying that this is the be-all and end-all build of the ship. We might change components, we might change engineered outcomes and see what we get, because this ship hasn't been tested out outside yet. Yeah, 1%, 1%. I want something better though. There's no point just settling for that when I know I'm going to throw again. Okay, integrity, 7% worse. Heat efficiency is nice. Let's apply that for now. And come back and pick up more fish. Let's go into outfitting and take a look at the speed. Okay, so the speed has remained the same, which is brilliant. That's because there's no mass on the overcharged power plant. It's very easy just to say, oh yeah, let's go with a grade 2. But then you've got a chance of reducing your integrity and reducing your heat efficiency even more. And why would you want to do that when a grade 1 gives you enough power to power the ship? Now we're down to 98 again. I was 98 without the shield generator before. Now I've got a shield generator that's been engineered. My performance thrusters used to be 81, remember? Now they're down to 72. So just making that tiny little gain on the power draw part of the power thrusters, of the performance thrusters, just making that little change, even though we lost a little bit, gained us 9% power in the performance thrusters. So it pays to sit at the performance thrusters and keep working away at them until you get an absolutely optimal throw. Because I reckon I could reduce that power down to under 70% if I really kept going and kept going and kept going. But to get a roll like that and still maintain the speed, well, that's something else. But it's not impossible, certainly not. So let's take a look here. There you go. This is the kind of thing I'm looking for. Heat efficiency is down, yes, but let's do that and see if we can. I'm going to keep going because I want to see if. Ooh, I didn't want that. I want to see if, see 97 now, it's coming down, it's coming down. And for some reason, my enhanced performance thrusters have come down as well. Are they coming down because of my power plant? Yes, they are. They're taking 71% of the power plant I have on board. That's why they're taking up so much power. If I had a bigger power plant, they wouldn't take up so much. It's because I've got the 2D power, the 3A power plant. What am I talking about? What am I talking about here? Let me just pop back into outfitting. I think I'm getting the power plant mixed up with something else. No, I'm right. Power plant 2D. So, yeah, it's not the best. It really isn't the best at all. I wonder if on sensors we can save as well. Sensors are 1 ton. Oh, you can't put ones. It has to be 2s on that one. So yeah, we're not doing too bad. And the jump range is 11.5, which is acceptable. So we're pushing 817, and let's face it, there are still, how are we doing on push? I can't remember. There are still little tweaks we can do. So let's keep working at it. This video is uncut, unedited. Where were we at? Power plant. So only a grade 1 overcharge. That way we stand to lose less of the bottom 2. So whether the top one needs to go blue, really. To be honest, we don't need it to, because as you can see, we have enough power to power everything. So we don't need it to. But if it does, that'll be great. So let's just spend 8 fish and see what happens. Yeah, so those enhanced thrusters are only taking up that much power because I'm using a power plant that's 1 class or 1 rank less, 1 grade less than what I should be using. I should probably be having a D3 on there, but we'll take a look. We'll take a look at that and see how it affects the speed. Okay, let's have a look at that power plant, shall we? So let's go into outfitting, and got a 2D power plant here, and that's giving us 849. So we've got 807 max on this. 849 is when the weapons are out, obviously, but we haven't got any weapons. So what's this figure I'm talking about? Well, I guess this is because we've got the cargo hatch off. We're not going over this. I don't know. I'm blabbering. Let's go into browse. Now we've got 2D. If we went to 3D, the speed is affected, as you can see, and that's the concern. My jump range has now gone up to 12.74 because that's what it is without the fish. So I'm happy with that. Am I right? Do we have no fish? Yeah, I think so. So the next one is 3D, or possibly even 2A. But again, 2A gives us more power than what we need. We don't even need to engineer it. But it drops the boost speed down to 813. So this gives us an extra 4 meters per second. And as long as it's got enough power to power everything, it should generate less heat as well. Or should it? Heat efficiency 0.8. Interesting thought. Heat efficiency is 0.8 on that. and the heat efficiency on this one is 0.8. So they're both as good as each other in terms of how efficient they are with heat. Fine. I'm assuming we're out of inventory, and we are. Alright, so to finish off then, because I'm not going to quit this one so easily, I'm not going to go down without a fight, we're going to go back and take a look at these thrusters. Grade 5 dirty dry. This is the only way you're going to get your speed. Okay, so room for improvement on all counts here, but only if we can get something here. So I'm just going to try with these 8, and if nothing works out, then we'll just stop. Pretty much for the sake of the video. I don't want it to go on for too long. Okay, let's keep going. Lots of blues there, but not so much concerned about the power draw now, because we have got a little bit of flexibility there. But the optimal multiplier and the optimal mass, looking at the two of them together, see, this is good. Now, is that going to give me a better outcome? Optimal mass is better, but this is down. See? Mass better by 3%. Will that give me a better speed? My optimal multiplier is way off. It's gone from a 153.7 down to a 147.5. I have to guess now in my head, will that make me quicker? Because there's nothing here to tell me. I can't look here to see what the potential speeds are going to be, because there's no speed listed here at all. It doesn't tell me anywhere here, you know, old top speed and boost speed and new top speed and boost speed. It doesn't tell me anything. I don't know what it's going to do until I fit it. So this might be slightly quicker by a couple of meters per second. 3 meters per second is what I'm after to hit 820. Because then I'll be pretty much. Oh, now look at this one. I have to take this one. If it drops my speed, I'll have to just suck it up. I'm losing 1%. Now remember what I said. 1% is the highest number they can show. That's okay, let me say it a different way, because that might have sounded confusing. Let's say it's the lowest number they can show. No, I was right the first time. It's the highest number they can show that's a whole number. No, I know what I mean. They can't show 0.5, 0.3. So the first whole number, yeah, there you go. The first whole number they can show is first. It's the first one. So there's no decimal places here. So this is your first integer, right? It's your whole number. So this is probably like maybe 0.5% or something. I don't know. We're dropping down only 0.1 here. But power draw is fantastically better. So is the thermal load. But the mass, optimal mass is 1% better, and the overall mass is 4% better. And that might give us the extra speed. And this could trump every time you say that phrase now, you can't help thinking of that buffoon. This might outweigh this. I'm going to guess that it will, and I'm going to apply. If I'm wrong, then I've just taken a speed loss, and it means I'm going to have to buy more fish. Let's take a look at what that's done for the power. Look at this. Now we're down to 93. I can almost bring the cargo hatch back online. Not quite. But if I fiddle around with some of these engineers mods and just get a little bit of extra, 1%, just that 1% more better power efficiency, I can bring the cargo hatch online. But I don't need to, because I'm not going to be carrying cargo. I'll leave the cargo in, actually, the cargo, because rather than having it empty bays, I'd rather have cargo in it. And, you know, if the ship needs to do a speed run, like one of these boom time missions to deliver data within a certain time frame, then this is the kind of thing you really want. So let's take a look and see if I've bettered 817. There you go. I have hit the target, 820. Boom. Jump speed 12.5, and the power, now the max between, the difference between the max and what I'm actually putting out is now a lot smaller. It's a lot smaller now. It's 0.05 of a difference now. And look at the insurance cost on this ship. I think that could be beta prices, but still. So the final weight of the ship is 73.3. Okay, it started at 95.3, so we've knocked off 22 tons. We've nearly doubled the jump range, and we've just killed the boost speed and the top speed. So I'm done. Yes, there's probably, if I sat here and went through all the modules again, I could probably get little improvements here and there, more or less, you know, and I might be able to get it up to 822, 823, possibly, and maybe get the power down to 92%. I don't know. What I need to do now is take her out, and see if the change. What I'm interested in is not only the speed, but if the change to the power distributor, which is engine enhanced, engine focused, will allow me to keep boosting and boosting. Now, the cool thing is we're on a planet surface. I can't remember whether we're in the dark or the light. I think when I landed, I was in the day, but. So full pips to engines, two to shields, and hope that's enough. And let's go. Wow, I think we got a good build. 820. So she's 30 kilometers faster. Sorry, 30 meters per second faster than the Courier. So how do we gauge the speed here? We've got some structures here, so we'll be able to gauge from here the speed, because seeing things like this. So let's just boost and see where we are. I'll try not to get destroyed, but if I do, it's not going to matter, because the insurance rebuy is just crazy. Yeah, 398 credits. It probably should be 3,980 or something. Right, so let's just hit the boost button and pray I don't hit those towers. In fact, I better point this way. Ah! Holy of holies. Now I'm just watching the distributor charge up. Oh dear. Now temperatures. And I can't get the boost, you see. Now my temperatures are going down. It seems when I'm turning, yeah, it seems to be going up when I'm turning. 82. And the capacitor is recharging fairly slowly as well. So maybe we need to go with better. I don't know, maybe a better power distributor. The heat from these engines though is crazy. The thermal load is nuts. But it's not just the engines as well. It's all the other components that have got that were rolled with bad thermal loads. She's barely touching 800 as well. Come on. She's not hitting the 800, eh? Wow. The Courier doesn't do this. The Courier will just keep boosting and boosting and boosting. So we need to look at engineer rolling with better thermal on some of these things. What I'd like to see here, as well as power, you got your power there, is how much. I mean, look at that, 66 now. It was 81 before. I'd like to see thermal percentage, how much each module is using up on thermals. That would be a nice little feature. See, she's running now at 39, but just turning. I'm just turning the ship. So, for example, I'm gonna max the speed out. Now, before on the Courier, when it said 790, it literally reaches 790. It actually does it. But look, I'm going to keep my finger on the full power button. Okay, so I'm at full throttle and my finger's kept on there. Now I'm not going to press any boost, and all I'm going to do is execute a turn. So keep an eye on the temperature. Right, so it's almost doubled. Now couple that. The only reason it's gone down is because the speed went down. Now couple that with a boost. And this is why we're getting these temperature hikes, especially when I'm double boosting. So does that mean that boosting in a 65 kilometers away? Shoot. So I wonder if that means boosting in a straight line is thermally better than doing it with a turn. Well, we're going to find out. I haven't seen it go over 790 yet. Oh, there we go, 800, 803. And the thermals are okay. So if you want to run away from somebody who's interdicting you, you can get 2 boosts in. 2 boosts will be enough to get out of weapons range, no problem. We should maybe have a look at that power distributor. So I know how to fix this, the heat issues, and you fix it by putting on a better power plant, basically, I think. Putting on an A-rated power plant. It is going to kill the speeds, but to be honest, it's not really doing much over 800 anyway. It's certainly not doing the 820 that I want. We're not getting the speed that was quoted in the manual. Oh, I think I'd better already. Well, that's the quickest 65 kilometers I've covered. See, my pad isn't even ready. I got here before the pad was ready. Okay, well, changing the power plant is something we're gonna have to do. So the reason is because we're running a power plant that's a class lower than what we're really supposed to be running. So it's having to overwork. It's having to overwork. So we're going to have to go with the bigger power plant. which will kill all of the power issues that we have. We won't have any power issues anymore. So we're going to change this to a 3D. Heat efficiency 0.8 and the 3A. Yeah, look at the difference. 49% compared to 4%. That's massive. The top speed is still 802, so I'm going to go for that. Now that's unengineered, so again, we're going to have to go and quickly buy some fishy, but that will get rid of our thermal issues, I'm pretty sure. It's because we're using a smaller engine, it's having to work really hard, and it's just overheating, it just can't handle. You know, you've got a very small power, a smaller power plant than you should be fitting, trying to cope with enhanced thrusters that are maxed out with dirty drive tuning, and to be honest, it just can't handle it. So we've got the power plant. Now, as you know, we can overcharge it, but we don't need to because the power usage right now is easy. So we can go with low emissions. It does affect the mass though, unfortunately, but it would give us better heat efficiency. So I'm going to skip that. Armored affects the mass, so there's nothing really I can do here. We can overcharge it, but it affects heat efficiency. So I'm going to leave it as it is and relaunch. Yes, we are dropping speed, but we can still hit, theoretically we can still hit 800, and before with the other power plant, it said 820, but I think that small power plant just couldn't handle that kind of speed. It couldn't do it. So let's see if this from 2Ds up to 3As will give us the same speed as we had before, but without the thermal issues. So right now we're down to 33 and it's still going down. So let's boost. And let's see where we get in terms of speed. So 700 now, really. So the heat is building up. And my power distributor could still do with... Let's see if the heat's the same. I was actually hoping this would... it's not hitting 100% like it was before. Come on. Come on, boost. So I can't get it above 100% anymore. It looks like I need a better power distributor as well, again at the cost of speed. But it means I can keep boosting. I would rather have 10 meters per second slower ship and be able to keep boosting and keep boosting and keep boosting, because overall I'm covering more ground. I don't have any thermal issues on my Courier. Now the top speed here, I can't get it much above 700, which is kind of weird. $704. Oh, I was going to say I could just see me ploughing into the ground there, but I didn't. Kind of going to crash here. Well, that saves me having to dock. Okay, so we're still getting heat issues. So I could look at other modules and maybe tweak their thermals a bit better in the engineers. And you could see I wasn't getting much over 704 there, even though we have to go down to outfitting. I'm going to need to end this video pretty soon because it's running a lot longer than I expected. Even though the boost speed is supposed to be 802, I'm not getting that. And I don't know why. Something's holding me back. I don't know if it's this. I'm going to check the build of my Courier and see what it's got for a power distributor. See if it has the A rated on there. I might be able to do that right now, actually. I'm just going to pop into Coriolis. And I'll just take a look. Okay, so I'm using an A-rated power distributor, A-rated power plant, and A-rated enhanced thrusters. It's even got a field scoop on there, which I haven't put on mine, but I will, because it doesn't weigh anything. So we've got a 3A enhanced. So yeah, the 3As are the plant, the power plant, the thrusters, and the distributor. So okay, let's change this, the distributor, and let's put this on. Now this is going to give us better everything really. But yeah, we've dropped speed, but hey, what can you do? And while I'm here, because I know that there is an engineer's mod for it, I'm going to put what has my Courier got for shields? 3D, yeah. Okay, so here I'm going to buy a fuel scoop because I don't want it to get stuck out. You can just get the best one here, it doesn't really matter. Of course, it means that now we're down to only being able to carry 4 fish. So it seems that all in all, once the same modules are put on this, the A-rated power plant and distributor and thrusters, that the Eagle is slower than the, not by much though. It's slower, but a bit of engineer tweaking could bring it to about the same level as my Courier. Right now this is the same, it's almost the same speed as my Courier, almost. We might be able to squeeze a bit out of it now if we can get, well, let's have a look. We want to go with engine focus really, because we need that boost speed. So let's see if we can get a good roll early on. 28 and 10. I'm obviously not going to settle for that. 28 and 7. Well, if I didn't settle for the first one, I won't be settling for the second. These delays here for no reason. Right, well, let's apply this for the moment and then whiz back because we're almost out of fish. And we'll go back. And see if we can squeeze a little bit more out of it. Yeah. Wait a minute, am I? Yes. Okay. Sorry, I just was wondering whether I was in the right place there. This is good because I've got better shields worse weapons, which I don't have any of, and better engine capacity. The only problem is I'm losing mass, am I not? At this stage, it doesn't really matter. I'm starting to lose hope in outright speed now. Now the fuel scoop, it only has a shielded option. It doesn't have anything like lightweight, and it gives us a bigger power draw. So I'm not really bothered about that. It's not going to really do anything. So now the rebuy cost has gone up considerably compared to what it was. The performance thrusters are now only using 45%. I'm going to keep the cargo hatch off anyway because... Oh, okay, smart ass. Because it's using up 5% power, which will convert to some thermal. All right, so we now have a fuel scoop, so we can't get stuck anywhere, really. But the top speed now is down to 783. Now don't forget, when I was boosting before, I was only getting 704 or something like that. So I couldn't even touch the previous speed I had. So we're going to give it one last launch and see where we are. And if the thermals and stuff are not quite right, then I'll just have to keep plugging away. But I won't be doing it on this video because this is the final launch and then the video ends. So let me just put 4 pips to weapons. Maybe that was the problem before. Yeah, maybe I didn't have 4 pips to weapons before. So how many of you noticed that and were shouting at me? I think I didn't have 4 pips to weapons last time then. 4 pips to engine, sorry. Now thermals, it's not, well, look at that, just pulling up there. It's gone from 65 to 78%. Just pulling up, pitching up without boost. Let me try another boost, maybe it was that. So yeah, maneuvering hard and boosting is where the biggest heat is. And again, insufficient energy in the capacitor. I think it's because I need it maybe just to recharge quicker. Maybe I should be focusing on recharge. Maybe that's better than capacity. Having it recharge quicker. That'll be my next thing to test. Does using a quicker recharge mean I can boost quicker rather than more capacitor or less capacitor? Let me explain that better. Rather than to have the engines use less capacitance, because they're going to be at the top in a second. So let's see how many a boost takes up. Well, that took what, 4? But I'm boosting right now. There's 6 there, isn't there? 7. Yeah, it uses 4 or 5. So there's 4. Ah, okay. See, now it's taking a while. No, it's only when it's about to go to the 5th stripe that it'll let me that it will let me boost again, like we did last summer. I better move because I'm going to touch that really quickly. Oh, I hate having flight assist off and then it doesn't boost. I need just constant boosting all the time. when I do the flight assist, we might be crashing again, by the way. Oh, you know what? I think I could have saved that, if I'm honest, because because I tried to boost out of it, and I think that boost cost me, yeah, pretty much everything. Okay, but I'm not bothered. We're in beta. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anything that happens in beta is completely meaningless, so ships can blow up all over the place. It doesn't really matter. In fact, blowing the ship up would get me back down a lot faster. Let's do that. Yay! Mind you, we've got to sit through this animation. But where else do you get to enjoy your ship's destruction without it costing you anything? Because obviously none of these go into the life build. Not now. So, and of course you get put down here as well, so you don't have to wait for this to come up. So, I'm going to quickly have a look because I know you guys probably want to know. So right now we've got grade 3 engine focus. Oh, I need fishies. Let's just switch that out. I'm going to switch that out now, and I'm going to go for a grade 5 high charge. Oh, it doesn't really help my engines, does it? That does, though. That's probably the one I was looking for. Right, so this one is charge enhanced. So I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the best blue here. I won't get a... If this can increase as well, I'll be very happy. Right, engines is good. Capacity, not so much. We lose a lot in capacity. But the question is recharge better than... Okay, this is good. So we're losing engine capacity big time. But I'm going to apply it and see if the faster recharge means I can constantly boost more frequently. I've probably added more mass to the ship. Yeah, I'm sure the reason I wasn't getting 800 before was because of the pips to engines. I didn't realize it had reset after the fact that I'd been blown up. So yeah, look, they're recharging fast. But it still says insufficient energy in the capacitor. Why? Why? Look at how many pips. Oh, is it because... Oh, I know. It's because the boost is taking more pips now. It's requiring more pips to do the boost. So maybe we need to get a roll. Yeah, look at that. The temperatures are up. Okay, well, I'm going to land this and be happy with it. So I may go back to engine focused. If anybody has got any tips on how to improve this, please leave a comment. Should we just dive this into the tower? Yeah, it's quicker, isn't it? Let's just aim for the tower and just go for it. I'm sure Quent won't be too happy, but it'll make up for all of the bad rolls he's given me. I think I can get through that gap in the tower. No. Oh, I didn't even take my bloody shields down. This is, though. See, the up thrusters are crap on the ships in Elite Dangerous. They just don't maneuver upwards that well. Kaboom! Okay, this is good because it puts us straight back into the hangar, so it's a lot faster. I'll only freak if Frontier say that we're passing all your stats over to the live build. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. You've seen what different things do, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so again, just thanks to everybody for watching, and thank you to all my subscribers. Now, I can't believe it's gone over 1,800, which is nuts. I have added, I didn't want to, I never thought about doing this, but you know, I don't know. But anyway, there's a PayPal button on my channel banner if you want to support the channel. And who knows, if I get enough and add some of my own money, I can probably get one of those Thrustmaster HOTAS things and give that a try. See if I can get used to using the joystick in the right hand and doing a video on that. So that should be fun. I don't know how much it is, to be honest. I'm not asking, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's something that's on my shopping list. So yeah. Also, if you want to be, for those who don't know, if you want to be notified of any new videos or upcoming live streams, subscribers to the channel can just click on the little bell icon that's underneath each and every video, where you can see the subscribed box and the number of subscribers. There's a little bell in the middle of there. If you click on that, you'll be notified of anything that's coming up or any new content. Right, so that's this one. I don't know whether I'll be doing another video before I leave on the 18th for the UK, if I go. So if I don't, then I will, if I go to the UK, I will send you a video of me when I'm there, and yeah, we'll carry on. I'll be taking my laptop with me, which has Elite on it, but I can't really play it without a joystick. So yeah, if there is any videos from me, there probably won't be any gameplay as such over the Christmas period, but that's the way it goes. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Thank you even more for subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.